Okay, you now know what you're doing wrong that's preventing you from meeting a lot of men and people, developing healthy, long-lasting, and passionate relationships. So now let's get to 5 love resolutions that you need, I guess we all need to make in 2013, here with Teresa Moore Griffin. So what are those 5 resolutions?
One is to clear out the lies in your life. Get rid of the junk that's inhibiting you from being your full best self in a relationship and for yourself. The second is that you want to notice that friendship should be the foundation of relationships, not so much romantic love, because that's fleeting, it comes and goes, but you want a solid foundation that you can build on. You also want to listen deeply to the other person. Listen so that they really feel your interest and care about them. And good listeners, that's why we go to therapists. Good listeners really make us feel good about ourselves, right? We feel attended to and well loved and respected in that regard. And lastly, don't fight, discuss. Talk through every issue that you need to talk through to have a good, solid relationship. And that's everything from sex and sexuality to finances to long-term career goals to what color you want to paint the room. But really talking it through and revering that other person's opinion as much as you care for and respect your own.
And being realistic and being respectful and talking about this, there's one thing that came out in these Gray's books that we learned a lot about, and the only thing I took from it was that they actually communicated.
That's right.
What intimacy they wanted, whatever that was.
That is the greatest intimacy, is sharing your real self with another person. It's just a perfect way to love another, is to witness them and have them witness you. And the 5th item that I didn't mention, but I want to, is that it's important to be realistic. None of us are perfect people, and our partners will not be perfect either. So we have to learn to love that person as they are, or move on, because people change when they choose to, not because you're pressuring them to.
And sometimes that can backfire as well.
It almost always does.
You know, we were talking about last segment about breathing.
Yes.
Can you share with me, and this is something you really believe in, just the breathing technique?
Seems
Should we
obvious,
breathe together?
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Seems obvious. But you know, one of the things that's true in the Western society, in our culture, is that we neglect our bodies and we neglect our spirit. And breathing helps us to connect with both. And if you want to really increase the steam in your sex life, breathe deeply while you have sex. You will feel more.
And so it's just, I mean, that you just...
In through your nostrils, hold it for a second,
just
out through your mouth.
out.
And I also believe in sighing. It's a great way to release tension, reconnect with your body, which contains your life force, your energy. So breathing helps you to be more present to yourself and to other people, which is important in any relationship.
I'm so glad you said that, because I'll do that.
Sighing is
And my
good.
husband will say, what? What?
Tell him to cut that out. Sighing is a good thing. It's a good thing.
So it's just letting it all out,
yes,
really.
Yes.
You know, you talked about, in your book, about patterns and pivot points.
Yes.
What do you mean by that, looking at all the patterns? At ourselves, in others, what?
Both. We tend to see them more clearly in other people,
Of
but I
course,
really encourage us first to pay attention to ourselves, so that when I show up in a relationship, I show up as a person who's kind of swept the floor, in essence, the house is clean, and we can really enjoy being in a relationship with each other because I'm not bringing my garbage into our interaction. So pivot points are those things that happen in our lives, and they're described in Lies That Limit, where we make a decision about something, or the situation occurs and we give it special meaning. So for example, one of the stories in the book is about a young boy who, at 5 years old, his mother left him with his aunt as she went off to work to make money for the family. There wasn't work where they were living. And he decided at that point in his life that he could never love again.
Oh.
A little 5-year-old makes that kind of decision because he's hurt, he's angry. But he carried that throughout his life. And it wasn't until we began working together that that recollection came back to him. And he got then to remember that and to do the work that was necessary to clear it out, so that he can be a loving, available man versus a man that engages with women for a while and then moves on to the next woman, is serial relationships. And he's much healthier now, able to actually connect and be vulnerable in relationship.
And so really a lot of these things, the baggage we may carry, may come from childhood.
Almost all of it does. That's where we get wounded, and that's where we make up a story about what that wound means and how we're going to react to protect ourselves. And our work is to not be so self-protective in that negative, defensive sense, but to be more available, to have our core, our spirit, our energy show.
Thank you so much for your energy here on A New Dawn, Teresa.
Thank you.
I loved your book. And speaking of sharing your love, by the way, those affected by Hurricane Sandy still need your help. We here at WMCN TV donated our generator. Please go to www.redcross.org, make your donation, and thank you, of course, to Vidal Spa of Wilmington, Delaware. Have a good one.